back in the saddle again.
Yes, it's time once again for Melody Ranch and Gene Autry.
I'm back in the saddle again, out where a friend is a friend, where the longhorn cattle feed on the lowly Jimson weed. I'm back in the saddle again.
That's right, folks. It's another visit with all the gang here at Melody Ranch. There's Pat Buttram, the Cass County Boys, the Gene Autry Blue Jeans, Carl Cotner's Melody Ranch Hardway 6, and yours truly, Charlie Lyon. Right now, though, meet the boss man himself, America's favorite cowboy, Gene Autry.
I'm riding to Tennessee, 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 because my true love just waits for me in Tennessee. I've saved up a bushel of kisses, saved up a mountain of love. Soon we'll be Mr. and Mrs., closer than a hand in a glove. I'm riding to Tennessee, 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 because my true love just waits for me in Tennessee.
I've saved up a bushel of kisses, saved up a mountain of love. Soon we'll be Mr. and Mrs., closer than a hand in a glove.
I'm riding to Tennessee, 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 because my true love just waits for me in Tennessee, in Tennessee. Well, hi there, everybody, and welcome back to Melody Ranch. Are you thinking that I wasn't meant for you? Could it be you believe that I've been untrue? But listen, sweetheart, this just cannot be, 'cause you're the only good thing that's happened to me. We have our ups and downs like all lovers do, but you know in your heart that I worship you. So don't ever think of setting me free, 'cause you're the only good thing that's happened to me. If you ever may think that I don't love you, that I'm not satisfied with the things that you do, I want you to know, and please understand, there's nothing in this world worth the touch of your hand. We have our ups and downs like all lovers do, but you know in your heart that I worship you. So don't ever think of setting me free, 'cause you're the only good thing that's happened to me. Well, thank you, friends. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that tune. And now we here at Melody Ranch are glad to...
Hey, Mr. Artery! Mr. Artery! Hey.
Well, Pat Buttram.
Yeah.
What are you so excited about?
Mr. Artery, I just bought a mount from my good pal, Desert Rat Lonas, the old prospector.
Oh?
It shows where he found a great big vein of gold in the desert.
You don't say.
I sure do say. He struck a vein of gold, yellow gold, 20 feet wide and 100 miles long.
How long?
100 miles long. Said it looked like the Lincoln Highway with egg all over it. And I know what.
What?
I'm going out in that desert and find it myself.
Now, Patrick, don't be foolish. You can't go out in that desert alone. Why, do you know how dangerous it is? What if you run out of water?
Oh, I got that whip, my boy.
Oh, you have?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
You see this little white pill? That's dehydrated water.
Oh?
I invented it myself.
That little white pill is dehydrated water?
Yes, sir.
How does it work?
Very simple. You take this little white pill here,
Mm-hmm.
drop it into an empty glass,
And then?
then you just add water. There you go.
Patrick, I know you've got all your marbles. It's just that they've all rolled over to one side. Now, suppose you get lost on the desert.
Not me. No, sir. I won't get lost. I got one of them little round things with the needle in it. There.
What little round thing with a needle in it?
You know that little round gadget that says north by east, north by east, 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 east by east, east by east, east, east by south, east, south, south by south, south by west, south by south, west, west, west by west, west by north, west, west by north, north.
You mean a compass?
I never can remember that word.
Now, listen to me, Patrick.
Yeah?
You know, I'm an outdoor man.
Yes, I know.
Yes, and I've been on that desert a long time.
Yes, sir.
And it takes a strong man with plenty of stamina to fight it.
Huh.
Are you in that condition?
Am I? Of course I am, Mr. Artery. You remember a few months ago when we was chasing them outlaws?
Yeah?
I was up them mountains lickety-split, down the mountains lickety-split, across the plains lickety-split. And it ain't easy doing all that with a split lickety.
I agree.
I'm going to find me that gold mine, and
Oh?
I'll be rich. And you can bet you that I won't let that money go to my head.
Why not? There's plenty of room in it up there.
Now, wait. You can scoff if you want to, but I've already decided I'm going to find that lost mine.
So you just won't take anybody's advice, will you?
Well, why should I? I was talking to Pete about it, and he said some guy told him it was senseless to waste time looking for quick riches.
Oh?
Now, what kind of a goof would tell a man such an idiotic statement as that?
Mr. Buttram, I happened to tell that to Pete.
Well, I was getting tired of this job anyway.
Well, I'll let that pass for this time. But now listen, if you've made up your mind to go out in the desert, all right. Now I want to ask you, do you need any guns?
Guns?
I'll loan you a couple of mine.
No, thanks, Mr. Artery. I ain't taking any guns. I'm taking a good stout bow and arrow.
A bow and arrow?
That's right.
Can you handle them?
I've been practicing with it all morning.
Oh?
You ought to seen me. I just put an arrow in that strong bow, bend it back with all my might, and zip right down the middle.
Really?
Yeah. So I got a new pair of pants and started all over again. So long, Mr. Artery.
Well, so long, Buttram. I got to get that guy to stop drying his head in a sock stretcher. Well, let's see here. I think it's time for the Cass County boys to tell us the story of a little shoemaker.
In the shoemaker's shop, this refrain would never stop as he tapped away, working all the day. At his bench there was he, just as busy as a bee, little time to lose with his boots and shoes. But his heart went pop inside the little shop when a lovely girl set him all the world. She had come to choose some pretty dancing shoes, and he heard her say in a charming way, shoes to set my feet a dancing, 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 dancing all the day. Shoes to set my feet a dancing, dancing, dancing all my cares away. Then he tapped and he stitched, for his fingers were bewitched, and he sewed a dream into every scene, making shoes oh so neat, just like magic on her feet. And he hoped she'd know that he loved her so. But she danced, danced, danced as though she were entranced, like a spinning top all around the shop. On her dainty feet she whirled into the street, and he heard her say, as she danced away, shoes to set my feet a-dancing, dancing, dancing, dancing all the day. Shoes to set my feet a-dancing, dancing, dancing all my cares away.
Oh, mighty fine job, Darkest County, boys.
By the way, I'm sorry I'm late for the start of this here powwow, but, you know, I just can't seem to get started since my vacation.
Oh, that's understandable, Johnny. Ever since I can remember, other people's vacation have meant nothing but trouble for me, too. I'll never forget the time the sheriff went back east on a vacation trip and talked me into taking over his job while he was gone. He'd only been away 2 days when Pat Buttram broke in on me while I was eating breakfast.
Gene, I sure hate to interrupt your chow, but we got us a corpus delictus out on the front porch.
What are you talking about?
A body, a real dead body. Without being a medical man, I'd say he died of 45 ventilation.
Is it one of our boys?
Well?
Anybody's trying to get rough stuff around here at Melody Ranch,
This here's nobody that you know, Gene. You see there? He's a stranger, and we ain't gonna have much chance to getting acquainted with him, that's for sure.
He's dressed in old blue jeans and a blue work shirt. But there's something wrong with that getup. This man's no ranch hand, and that isn't all that's wrong.
Well, I guess I'll have to take your word for it, Gene. I don't see nothing else.
Well, this man has a bullet hole in his head, but there's not a drop of blood on the porch.
I'll be doggone. You're right.
What time is it?
Time, let's see. 6:48, if this dollar watch of mine's correct.
And what time did you get in last night?
Yeah, well, now, look here, Gene. If you think I had anything to do with this, well...
All I suspect of you is staying out late.
Well, let me see now. The game over at the Lazy M busted up about 12:30. Reckon it must have been about 1 o'clock when I got in. Why?
Well, this body wasn't here when you got home, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Then this murder victim was left. Left sometime between 1 o'clock and 6:30. Well, we better talk. We better talk to that new hand over at Sam Fuller's ranch.
New hand? Steve, you mean? Why?
Oh, Sam. Sam told me yesterday that he was sending Steve West over at 5 o'clock this morning to borrow our pickup. His is broken down. Has a broken axle.
Did Steve take our pickup?
Yeah, last night. I left the keys in it for him, and it's gone now.
So, West must have seen the body and said nothing about it. You know, Gene, I've been suspicious of him ever since I asked him about that scar on his right arm. He said, hoodlums. He used to play kind of rough in Brooklyn. You better pick him up before he skips out.
Well, it was easy to see that the stranger had been killed somewhere else and then brought to Melody Ranch. Pat took the body into Sagebrush for Dr. Mason to examine, and I got on Champ, rode over to Sam Fuller's ranch. Oh, boy. Hi, Sam. Is Sam around?
He drove into town, sorry.
Your name, Steve West, isn't it?
Yeah, what of it?
You came over to Melody Ranch to borrow my pickup this morning, didn't you?
Sure.
What time did you get to Melody Ranch?
A little after sunup, I guess. Why?
Did you see anything peculiar on my doorstep?
No.
Well, we found a visitor this morning. A dead visitor. He'd been murdered. That body was put on my porch sometime after 1 o'clock this morning. If you saw it, you can save yourself a lot of trouble by admitting.
I didn't see a thing.
Well, I'll have to ask you to come into town with me, Steve.
Okay, I got nothing to worry about. I'll saddle up a horse and be right with you.
Maybe it's all right to let him go into the barn alone, Champ. But we better not take any chances. You stay right here till I get back, boy. Maybe I'm too suspicious. But he seemed a little too willing to go into town. I knew it. He's trying to get away in that truck. Hey, Champ! Champ! Good boy, Champ. He's heading for the road. Let's cut him off. Well, Steve led us quite a chase. Champ's fast, but he's no match for a light pickup on a straightaway. My only break was that Steve headed up into the hills. away from town and away from gas stations. Sooner or later, I figured the truck would run out of gas. But it was kind of a surprise to come around a bend and find Steve sitting in the pickup, pulled off the road.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Autry. I've been waiting for you.
Run out of gas?
Oh, no. I just didn't see any use of going much farther.
You were smart enough to realize that you'd get caught sooner or later, weren't you?
I was smart enough to do a favor for a friend, a guy who's treated me real square. I'm ready to go into sagebrush with you now.
All right. Let's have the story.
Sure, why not? Sam's had plenty of time to get away by now.
You mean Sam Fuller killed a stranger I found on my doorstep?
Right. When I come over to your place after the pickup this morning, I saw the body, and I recognized it as the man Sam had the big row with last night.
What were they rowing about?
There's something about Sam's using the ranch for a smuggling hideout.
Oh?
Sam didn't want to do it, and the stranger said, "You play my way or I'll turn you in. And if I tell all I know about you, they'll put a rope around your neck."
What else did they say?
I don't know. I got scared they'd catch me listening, so I went out the bunkhouse.
And you recognized the stranger's body when you came after my truck this morning. Did you accuse Sam of killing the man?
I waited till the rest of the hands had gone out to work, and then I talked to him. He admitted the whole thing.
You should have turned him in.
Sure, I know, but he begged me for a chance to get away, just a chance. Maybe the lawyer says I did the wrong thing in letting him escape, but I know what I did was right, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Did he say where he was going?
No, and if he did, I wouldn't tell you.
You know, Steve, you've gotten yourself into a jam. A bad one. I can understand how you feel about Sam after the way that he's helped you. But getting yourself mixed up in a murder is too big a favor to do for anybody.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Could you really send me up just for helping Sam Fuller to escape?
That's what the law says.
All right, Autry, you win. He's got a brother in San Francisco, and he said that's where he'd be heading.
Well, thanks. With that information, it shouldn't be too hard to catch him. All right, let's go. Well, I turned Champ loose. Told him to go home. Steve and I rode back toward Sagebrush in the pickup, and he seemed kind of surprised when I turned in at the Fuller Ranch.
Aren't you taking me into town?
Well, I guess not. But don't leave here, in case we want to call you as a witness.
Oh, sure, I'll be right here. Well, so long.
Now, just a minute. Maybe I ought to take a look around. Maybe I ought to take a look around the house before I leave.
But you ought to get word out to be on the lookout for him. I don't want any trouble for helping him to escape if I can help it.
Maybe I'll find some clues that'll help catch him. Hey, the safe. Open and empty.
He took all the money with him. He said he'd need it.
That figures. Something must have fallen off that shelf in the closet. We better take a look.
Stay away from that closet door, Autry.
So, you're carrying a .45. The kind of a gun that killed the stranger.
And the kind that's going to kill you. I'd never have thought a guy with your reputation for brains would be sap enough to fall for the story I gave you.
Maybe I didn't fall for it. Is Sam in that closet?
Yeah, but you don't need to worry about him, Autry. Like I said, that won't do you any good.
Gene. Sam. I was afraid you might be dead.
And I would have been if you hadn't come along this morning. He tied me up like this and made me give him the combination of the safe. He was just getting ready to kill me when you come riding up on Champ.
Don't worry, I'll take care of both of you before I leave, and this time I won't make the mistake of heading the wrong way.
Maybe you won't make that mistake, Steve, but you'll make others. Sam never would have left the body on my doorstep. And if he wanted to make fast getaway, he'd have taken the pickup.
So you figured it all out. So what's it gonna get you? The same thing Colin got for tracing me out here and trying to make me split with him on that Brooklyn jewelry heist. It'll get you the same thing, a bullet through the head.
Oh, no, it won't. Drop that. Drop it, it'll break your arm. Drop it.
Now I'll get you yet. If you make me miss forever, I'll...
Hey, hold everything. Hold it. Let's not waste any more ammunition.
Well, it's about time you got here.
Yeah.
Keep him covered, Pat, while I relieve him of his guns.
Yeah, I got him.
There.
Boy, when I unsaddled Champ and found that note you stuck under the saddle saying there might be some excitement here, I didn't realize how much there'd be.
Neither did I, Patrick. But I knew I was dealing with a killer. And when you're after a killer, it doesn't pay to take any chances. Well, Steve West, the Brooklyn cowhand, was convicted of murder, and Sam Fuller said he owed his life to the fact that the sheriff had gone on a vacation. If the sheriff hadn't been back east, I would have called him when Pat found the body. By the time the sheriff could have gotten out to Melody Ranch, well, it had been too late to save Sam. So maybe vacations aren't such a bad idea after all. Folks, you know, Mother Nature plays a prominent part in the way of a cowboy's life and the way he thinks, acts, and lives. Somebody must have had that thought in mind when they wrote the words to our cowboy classic for today. The always popular and plaintive melody from the sky. Love is everywhere. Its music fills the air. All nature seems to hum a melody from the sky. Over on the hill, I see a whippoorwill. I hear his song become a melody from the sky. And there's a bluebird singing to his lady love above. A love song taken from the whispering breeze in the trees. Love is everywhere. Its music fills the air. All nature seems to hum a melody from the sky.
And there's a bluebird singing to his lady love above. A love song taken from the whispering breeze in the trees.
Love is everywhere. Its music fills the air. All nature seems to hum a melody from the sky.
Oh, that was a beautiful song, Gene. You know, I felt like joining right in and singing along with you. Only I wouldn't have had the pleasure of hearing you sing it then.
Well, thank you, Charlie. You know, I often feel that way myself when the rest of the gang sings. Well, folks, it's time to say so long to our guests and invite everyone to be with us again for another Melody Ranch powwow over these same radio stations. Until then, this is Gene Autry asking you to keep thinking of us.
America's favorite cowboy, Gene Autry, will be back this way next week. And he'll bring along Pat Buttram, the Cass County Boys, the Gene Autry Blue Jeans, Carl Cotner's Melody Ranch Hardway 6, and yours truly, Charlie Lyon. For an exciting and entertaining half hour, be sure you're listening next time I say, it's time for Melody Ranch and Gene Autry.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.